What's going on, guys? So I want to again cover arbitraging because this has been a topic that I've committed to following through on with my channel since I've done, I've been pretty involved with arbitraging, meeting with David Peterson and at his rental house in Dallas, and the all of the engagement that I've done with the community and the promising element that it seemed to be in 2018, and just the total collapse that's happened in 2019 and a lot of the negativity that's been swirling around that. I've left the link to the Telegram chat below where there's quite a bit of discussion. It's been a little bit of a toxic topic, and there's been a lot of people that are just they're very upset because they've lost a lot of money in the project, and they want to just kind of express some of their frustration by lashing out a little bit. So I mean, it's certainly understandable. I've been one of the biggest investors in arbitraging, and part of that was like evident with the haircut that happened back earlier in the year. I got suckered into basically putting in it was a little over, I think it was about 22 ETH or so, back when they were doing the 50K ARB thing with the vault, so you could get full payouts of your ABOT. So I got suckered into that. A couple of days later, everything went down, and now the way that they've manipulated the token supply by increasing the token supply to essentially infinite, because there's no backing at all with the Apex token, and the amount of Apex tokens that have been tossed around, like all of the investors are restricted from being able to withdraw Apex tokens. They say 2,500 a day, but a lot of people, if you put in a withdrawal, you're not getting it in one day. You're getting it in several days. So it may take 4 or 5 days, maybe even a week. I mean, I haven't really checked into it much. I haven't really touched my account much, lately. For a while there, I was transferring over like the tokens, but the price is just continuously going down and down and down. And it seems to me that anytime I try to do anything with arbitraging to preserve my value in my investment in arbitraging, I get screwed by doing anything. And so I think the best thing to do if you're an arbitraging investor is to just document your account, through pictures, screenshots, video, whatever you need to do, and keep a record of that, because there's just a lot of there's a lot of mistrust with the platform. There's a lot of things that are going on that just are that seem very, very very shady, and it's just really unfortunate, because in 2018 the platform experienced a tremendous amount of success, and it seemed to be something that in the passive income earning space that was going to provide a little bit of stability, and something that has been full of nothing but scams and full of nothing but money grabs, in a sense. And unfortunately, it looks to me, and it appears from the outside, that a lot of the claims by David Peterson and other people that were a little bit closer on the inner circle with arbitraging, it seems a lot of those claims about the platform were illegitimate or were made under false pretenses. So if you look at even just a situation like the block exchange, which it seemed to be like all of the problems really seem to start from the block exchange. If you look at, there's been no proof of the patent behind the block exchange, because that was part of one of the things that this was supposed to be such an innovative technology that you were going to get something that required the use of a patent. There's been no information on that patent that I'm aware of, or that's been shared publicly, and I think a lot of that was just a ploy to try to say that this was a very big innovation. I think there's been, I'm not going to go into names of some of the people. There were some very prominent people, YouTubers that are bigger than I am, that that talked about the block exchange and how it was not innovative and how it was basically set up to restrict people from selling, which is exactly what happened. Only certain people were able to sell, and there's been some information that's been shared on that, and primarily the biggest perpetrator of that was Gonk. And Gonk has been one of the guys that has profited the most from the arbitraging scheme. And so in terms of like the FBI and SEC investigation, he is going to be one of the primary points of interest on who profited from this scam, if you profited it at all, because most of the people that get involved with arbitraging lost money. I certainly lost a lot of money. There's been some people that have been spreading rumors, and I think part of this was done by the Secret Oasis group that was trying to say that I made a ton of money, and that's just absolutely not true. All of the proof is on the blockchain. A lot of what they're trying to say is they're just looking at strictly ETH in, ETH out, and that's not a way to look at things, because a lot of people, if you were smart, you bought a lot of your ARB tokens off of the exchange, off of the internal exchange, and on places like CoinExchange. And there's also, when I was investing in arbitraging, Ethereum was $600. When I was pulling, money out of arbitraging, it was, a little bit after the block exchange was probably like the only time I was really able to pull some money out. Ethereum was in the low $100, and in some points it was below $100. So, that's there's a number of different elements when you're looking at the actual value that was locked in the system. This was supposed to be something where you were able to at least lock in, your value with in cryptocurrency into something that was going to preserve that value, and part of that was AUSD. And so AUSD was supposed to be a stable token, by their own admission, between 98 cents and $1.02. And so I'm holding a lot of AUSD. I don't know what's going to happen with that. I know there's other people that have just, they've cut their losses. I mean, I tell you what, they were begging people to auction, their accounts off, back when all of this stuff was going on. And it was just really malicious in the way that I was looking at it, because a lot of these people invested a lot of money into this platform, and they were being told by people like Cassandra, Peterson, and other people, a lot of the arbitraging admins, to just auction your account off. Well, I tell you what, I think a lot of people would really wish they would have back then. I think that at least they would have gotten something back, because right now it doesn't look very good in terms of being able to recover, your losses. There's a lot of upset investors. There's a lot of upset investors, and they rightfully should be, because there was a lot of fraudulent claims that were made by primarily people that were in private groups that were being paid by the arbitraging platform to promote certain concepts and ideas. One of the primary guys has been Crypto Batman, who's gone out and basically claimed that he was going around and harassing investors as Joseph Hammond and a few other accounts. He's got a number of different accounts, and so for him to come out as a guy who also never invested in arbitraging, and he was given all of the money that he put into the platform by people. It's all on the blockchain under his wallet address, and we have a lot of this information. So, and he's one individual, and I don't think it really should center around a few different particular individuals. There are a lot of a lot of people that were hurt by this platform, and so that's unfortunate. So like that's I think something that I hope there's a positive outcome that comes with this. And crypto is kind of one of these places where people it's kind of anti-government in a way. They want to get away from the banking system, from the regulatory environment, and the year of 2018, 2019, 2020, and probably the next few years. I've kind of said this in my previous streams. It's going to be the years of regulation. Some people are going to fight it, and some people are going to comply. And you know, the thing about it is the way that the decentralized nature of cryptocurrency, at least in some aspects. I mean, this is a centralized platform, but there are elements of cryptocurrency that are unable to be controlled. Like, no one can control sending Bitcoin from one person to another. That information can be tracked on the blockchain, and there's a record of that. So there's certain elements. You know, I think the U.S. is far behind the rest of the world, and is going to continue to be far behind the rest of the world because of their very archaic structure. You know, and I think a lot of that was evident with what's going on with Libra and the way that they just came down super hard on Libra coming out with, you know, basically their own, you know, stable coin or cryptocurrency, creating essentially their own economy. I mean, you're going to see a lot of other countries that are doing this, and I think that a lot of people, if you're looking to go where you're treated best, are going to look at a lot of these cryptocurrency havens in other countries where cryptocurrency is a little bit, is accepted a little bit better. So yeah, let me check in with the chat a little bit. Yeah, the Never card was something that we're not really sure if we're going to see. Yeah, give up the Ponzi's, bro, and your own bot trader and signals package. I'm actually working on that. So, you know, being a traveler, working in another country where I'm a foreigner, you know, these were some of the opportunities that I had to, you know, provide for myself. And so I was hoping that a lot of these things would work. Unfortunately, I have lost all the money that I have. Probably about 99% of all of the capital that I have is gone by investing in a lot of these companies that I thought were legit. So yeah, I don't have any money. So I'm broke. I have a little bit of cryptocurrency, like barely enough to kind of play around with. A lot of the cryptocurrency I have is kind of like in IOU forms. I'm having some issues with one particular platform right now that reneged on some of their commitments. So I'm looking at getting into some different options. So I'm reaching out to several different companies. I've talked with a few so far that are interested in me helping with them and doing a little bit of a partnership. I moved here in the Philippines to a different island, so I have a friend of mine who is helping me in some non-cryptocurrency ventures, which you know, he needs a little bit of help with marketing, and so I can help him with that. I can do some different things with you know, with video editing, with green screen, with tying things into music, doing things with in a professional manner with Photoshop, Illustrator, doing thumbnails, presenting different types of material. And so I'm going to be putting together, looking on as far as like the bots and stuff. I'm looking to get into that myself, because a lot of these platforms that say that they have bots and are you know, kind of doing a botting platform, they all have had issues at one point or the other. So I'm just going to probably try to work directly with the company. So I'm looking at a few different botting platforms, like 3 right now, and so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, you know, we'll see. But I think that's going to be my focus, is get a job. My job has been more of marketing, so I'm looking for marketing gigs, and that's kind of what I'm focusing on. I know a guy with 1,000 condos. I'll probably hook you up. I mean, there's some options in real estate. I'm actually in a really interesting real estate market here in the Philippines, and so that's primarily what I'm going to be looking at helping with in terms of marketing. That and some sports camps, because I have a background in health and fitness. So I'll probably be doing a little bit of that but still focusing on cryptocurrency. I have a couple of different projects. One is really interesting. It's just like, man, it's going to be a very difficult task with marketing because of like what they're doing is really cool. It's kind of, and I'm going to do a video on that really soon. It's a combination of like crypto kitties and like Pokemon like on the blockchain, but for them like the marketing is the most difficult element. And he's a friend of mine from Vietnam. I know what he's doing. There's another one that's really cool with another Vietnamese friend of mine. Like they have these like tablets, and they're going to be doing like actual. There's going to be an incentive to read, and so that's one thing that you know, like I've been reading a lot in terms of like social media and stuff, but actually reading a book, like having the incentive to read a book. And so what this does is it, if you can read for anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour a day. This like tablet, it like actually mines their own cryptocurrency on the tablet and pays like rewards you for reading. And so I think it's a really, really cool concept. And so I'm going to be working with those guys a little bit. There's a lot of really cool projects in cryptocurrency. And so I'm reaching out and I'm exploring options at this point because you know, a lot of the unfortunately a lot of the projects that I've been involved with have failed. And I'm not in the best situation. I'm reliant and dependent on other people because, you know, arbitraging has the majority of my money at this point. You know, the other one was Novachain. Like Novachain was super disappointing for a lot of people. You know, I think that there was the element where there was some privacy. There was, you know, they weren't ready to kind of come out and disclose as much information about themselves, but they were, you know, there was a lot of promises behind that. There was some proof behind the bots that they were able to do with their TRX bots on Binance. There was some logic behind that, and then ultimately, like the entire thing was set up in a way to use cryptocurrency YouTubers that are kind of in this passive income earning niche and promise them, you know, an investment in the platform. And then they did this entire marketing pump for like a month and tried to pull as much money as they could. And I think once the investment started, you know, basically declining, that's when they like, you know, they exited and they pulled the plug, and it was only like a month. And so that was really disappointing. I've sent emails to the FBI, and I've given them a little bit of information. I haven't heard anything back. You know, I haven't been in contact with the FBI or the SEC about arbitraging, but I'm going to be talking with the SEC here pretty soon on another matter, and I'm going to try to force the topic with Novachain and with arbitraging and with perhaps even a few other projects. I think they're looking at some of the larger projects and the ones where they have a better chance to actually like win the case or collect or that sort of thing. I have no idea how it's going to work in terms if they are actually able to collect some money from arbitraging, if they're going to be able to take that and return some funds to the investors. I've never seen any proof that they've done that. You know, I've seen a lot more proof where they've, you know, levied out these massive fines and things like that. But I've there's no, until they prove that they're actually using where those funds are going, and they're using those funds to give back to the people, to the victims. I just don't have a whole lot of faith in these government entities that are going to be, trying to provide some oversight. So. I gotta get some of the spammers out of here. Yeah, I haven't heard about like anything really with Dan. I know he was in contact. You know, he basically did some stuff with the SEC, but You know, I know when I briefly talked with him about it, he didn't have a whole lot of faith based on his conversation. I don't know how much they were. Why am I sweating all the time? That's damn Frankie's. His only, that must be Frankie or one of his fake accounts. That's like his only thing about me today. So I've been getting so much, you know, negativity like lately behind some of this stuff. You know, it's really just coming from a handful of individuals, like the Drunk on Crypto show and the Blacklist group, which really should be renamed the Clover Hate Group. And the other person they really hate is Chris and a few others, Nigel. I'm not really sure why they're targeting, you know, all of these people. They should be focused on the company and the people behind the company. But like I said, I'm gonna still continue to provide updates on arbitraging. You know, I know it's a sore subject for a lot of people, but you know, I'm gonna follow through and see how things go. And like I said, I'm gonna be looking at marketing, you know, a few different other projects. And so I'm talking with a few different companies. If there's some other companies that are interested in me doing, you know, some content that I can focus on doing a little bit of a partnership. I mean, I'm looking for like 4 or 5 different companies where, you know, I can focus on doing some marketing videos, you know, for those companies. And so hopefully, you know, I've got a few of those set up. I've got a couple of, you know, like I said, I've got a couple of leads on some projects that I'm working on. Declare yourself a Bitcoin maximalist and hopefully they stop hating on you. Cryptocurrency is such a broad topic. Like, certainly I think a lot of the focus should be on Bitcoin, especially when it comes to trading, because it really impacts a lot of the other markets in crypto. But I'm always going to be talking about different projects in crypto. I think there's a lot of interesting projects that you can't do on Bitcoin, at least not yet. Perhaps, you know, in the future when a lot of this stuff is rolled out, you know, maybe Bitcoin will just become so much more overpowering and dominant over the other projects, you know, that everything is done on Bitcoin. But that's kind of the claim with a lot of Bitcoin maximalists. I don't really see it happening. Moonberg, yeah, I mean, I'm not, you know, I'm gonna have to see what's going on with Moonberg. You know, I've been talking with Tobias a little bit, you know, about that. I'm not sure how things are gonna go with that. I'm a little bit upset, you know, with that situation. I'm still trying to work some things out with them. I'm just, you know, I've done a lot for the Moonberg platform in terms of marketing, and I feel a lot of that was not appreciated, and so I'm still trying to get some clarification on some of that stuff, but I don't know, we'll see. I mean, I understand some of the things that they're doing. Like, one of the things I think that they're doing, and like if you're looking at like some of the SEC investigations with some of these passive income earning platforms, they are going to classify those as a security. And so the way to get around some of that is to kind of do what they're doing. You see a lot of these platforms that are trying to move into something like shadow trading or trading in general, or doing bots or things like that on exchanges where it's more in the user's hands. And that's going to give a little bit more control to the users. I think Moonberg could provide some more transparency. They were fairly transparent with some stuff in the beginning in terms of giving more information about their trading logs, their some of the activity they have, with their bot, but there's not a lot of transparency on their website. And the same thing with arbitraging, same thing with NovaChain. And I've mentioned in the past, like if I was going to set up a platform, that's one thing I would want to offer is some transparency behind the transactions. Like with Moonberg, there's no record of any of the transactions on the exchange. Now, maybe that's going to get solved with the bulk exchange that they're working on. So that's some of the stuff I really don't know. Like they're trying to work on some things, and I hope they get it figured out. I really do, because it's been it's been my main source of income lately, and it's not even that much. So like I'm barely earning anything with Moonberg, but and then they were really not even honoring that, and so that's what made me a little bit upset. And I've kind of voiced that with some of my friends in the community, and I hope they get things fixed. So I'm hoping they will, but there's been a little bit of drama with that lately, but it's just they have been the top passive income earning platform in 2019. I think that deserves some credit. There's they've been in operation for the majority of the year, paying out consistently. I think that just there's similarities with some of these other previous platforms in terms of the rates of return, and basically the YouTubers that are talking about these types of platforms, primarily kind of in this niche, they tend to focus on some of those. There's people that have a lot of negativity behind that, or ulterior motives. How many accounts do you have, Gandhi? So what else is being done besides BTC, ARB, and I don't know what you mean by BTC. What is being done? I guess let's jump into that a little bit. There's the unofficial arbitraging group is collecting information through the emails of users. Where there's been some efforts that have been behind the scenes in terms of trying to organize something to get some of the people behind arbitraging to, at the very least, maybe return the initial investment that some of the people put into the platform. I don't know how much of that's really going to get sorted. I really don't. Some of the information that I'm seeing on the blockchain is very disturbing. You see, huge sums of Apex tokens that are moving to these external exchanges and being dumped on the exchange, and that's causing a lot of mistrust with people in that platform. So you have a CEO that's not a CEO anymore, that has kind of given up, and he's been on record saying that he wants to change the space. He's the world disruptor. He's got all these partnerships with McAfee, with all of these billionaires and things like that, flying around on private jets, but can't refund his investors, but will pay people to FUD the platform. It's unfortunate. I really feel like what David should do is, from the very beginning, he should have allowed people that wanted to leave the platform. They shouldn't be able to leave, and I think a lot of the negativity would have subsided. I think the problem with that is that that's not happening, and for very obvious reasons. They either don't have the money, or the whole thing was set up as a Ponzi platform to enrich a select few, namely guys like Gonk, who I think is more at fault than David. I feel like David has been working on the platform and has been more of a face of the platform, but I don't think he's benefited to the same extent as a guy like Gonk or some of the other people behind the scenes. I really don't know. You know, I'm just speculating, but you know, it's there's some proof about some of that stuff. I've been shown some of that information, presented some of that information. I don't know how factual some of that information is, but I'm taking the information for what it's worth. But they, you know, arbitraging, Apex, they are being investigated by the FBI, by the SEC. So I think a lot of the stuff that they were trying to do with their leverage exchange was a way to get away from, you know, their previous history. You know, I think just one of the biggest problems that I have with Apex arbitraging was the token swap, because all of the time that a lot of these investors were investing, we were told that there was only, you know, 8.9 million tokens, and I believe that, you know, up until pretty much when I was basically putting in all of my money that I had left just to try to pull out, you know, my daily money from my ABOT because of the restrictions with the 50,000, you know, ARB rule. But once they did that, and I think that a lot of that information came out, I think it was very obvious that the token supply was heavily overinflated. And you know, then we got information from Shoe Money that was basically confirming that fact, that there was at least like 40 million tokens, at least, you know, if not more. You know, then they came out with the Apex token. They tried to screw investors by only offering a third of the value of the Apex swap from ARB to Apex, even though they're inflating the supply to 100 million. And then when the community just actually went up in uproar and just was so upset with everything that happened, they changed that, and now it just looks like it's the same old situation where no one trusts the token supply, and I don't think they should. No one can withdraw, no one can sell. There's not a way to sell. The only people, it seems, that are able to sell are people that are in David's inner circle, that are able to jump the line and get at the front of the order book and sell at this very, very low price. And I think I've mentioned in the past where I feel, wait for the internet to come back. Oh. Where is, geez, sorry for the internet issues. Are you guys able to see me? I don't think you are. Oh, jeez. You guys can see the stream? I'm still getting the circle of death. Okay. All right. Well, if you guys can see the stream, I'm still getting the circle of death. So anyways, I lost my train of thought there. But yeah, I think that there was some information. I think there was some information that was on, you know, that I believe that they had bots that were running on the internal exchange that were buying. Like if you were buying and selling on the arbitraging exchange, you were buying or selling to David, and not in a peer-to-peer sense. So there's, you know, I don't. It would be very hard to prove that, but there's, you know, there's when I was buying and selling, especially when I was buying and selling a lot, which was when, you know, I had to put in the 50K to basically get out my full investment. I think that there was a lot of that going on. You know, I didn't really kind of fully realize it until, you know, right towards the end, when that was happening. But Anyways, that's kind of my theory. I'm still getting the circle of death. So I apologize for that. I don't understand. I can't switch my internet either. So yeah, sorry for the internet issues. But anyways, I think I'm gonna kind of wrap up the stream here. I'll do another update here pretty soon. You know, I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about it. If you guys have some information you want to share, I think a lot of people have the same goal. We're just trying to get our investment out of arbitraging, you know, at fair market value. But, you know, I'm not really sure, you know, if that's going to happen. So we'll see. But anyways, appreciate you guys staying online, and I'll catch you guys on